Hi everyone. So this little clip is going to all my private clients, and I'm just really checking in with you to say that I'm just really thrilled at how well all of you are working and the progression that you're making. So what I thought I would do is, not every week, but every couple of weeks, send you a little clip, a YouTube clip, and we will either review a move that we've done, and because some of you don't always get the same program, some of you have had this move, some of you haven't, I thought I would just give it to you as a reminder and or as a teaching, and you can give it a try on your own in between our sessions. The other thing I was going to do today is share just a little bit of yoga philosophy that would then stay with you and help you through the next week until we get to see each other again. Most of us are seeing each other either every week or every other week, and so I just thought it'd be nice to drop in, sporadically give you a 10-minute clip and keep things moving along. Okay, so what this one is that we're going to lay on our backs, and I have these felt rolls and these little blocks, but you may have something different, right? So you can use another yoga mat or a really nice thick bath sheet, like a bath towel that's really thick. That works well. And or any sort of Mexican kind of blanket that again is quite thick. We roll it up and we get ourselves a roll. We hold on to it, and then we use, a book is great, like a textbook, an encyclopedia, something that's kind of thick and big, more of a coffee table book, work really well. Don't have to, if you don't have something to put under your bum, you can just make the roll small enough that your bum comes down to the ground. Okay, so you lift up like bridge, and then you roll and put that guy underneath the waist, truly underneath your waist, so it's not on your ribs and it's not at your pelvis, it's in between in that space, and then this guy comes underneath my bum. Okay, so then I settle in and I just let my arms lay off to the side. Now, the aim in this, and it doesn't always happen, meaning you may not be able to get it all the way this way yet, but the aim is you can see that I'm stretched out, right? That I'm over something, so there's a shortening of the back side of my body and a lengthening of the front side of my body. And it's as if this whole part of my body can work together and then can work together. So my hands are sort of just showing that we're contracting a little bit everywhere here, and we're lengthening a little bit everywhere, like that. The result is that the pelvis comes up and off the block. What we want to avoid is just moving the pelvis, right? Just rocking the pelvis. So it's more complex than that. All right, so I'll do a few of them. So as I lay here, I relax between my shoulder blades. I let my body sort of soften and feel like it's being supported here, and it's being supported here on the floor. And I tend to start here. So I feel myself make a small contraction here at the chest, through my solar plexus, through my belly, and then the end result is that my bum comes up a little bit. It doesn't have to come up a lot. And then I relax my bum and I let it fall over the roll, and then this settles back down, meaning it lengthens and everything settles. Right? So as I'm moving, I haven't watched myself do this in a while, but hopefully what you're seeing is that my head doesn't move very much, but there's a gentle contraction that happens through the whole front line of the body, and a lengthening of the whole line of the body. Right, so I'll do a few more, you can just watch. And as you watch through this, probably a second and third time, you'll just be doing it with me, right? So I'll give you the guidance, and then if you're doing it with me, right? So your feet are on the floor, you relax your body, and then you start to contract. It's as if the chest is talking to the solar plexus or the top of the belly. The top of the belly is talking through the front of the abdominals, all the way down across the low belly into the pubic bone. Then there's a relaxation where everything goes back to where it was. The pelvis rolls over the roll, the bum softens and relaxes, and everything relaxes. One of the things I want to draw your attention to is every time that we do lift the hips up off the block or the floor, that you can feel that there's a relaxing or a release that happens between the upper back and shoulders. And then as your bum comes back down, it feels almost like there's a shortening or a settling back down. So see if you can feel that. It's very much that this movement is creating a really good, and I use the word congruent movement, that we can use the front side of the body to contract and to lengthen the back side of the body, and then we can relax. Front side of the body lengthens as the back side of the body relaxes into a shorter or contracted. Although it is not contracted, it's relaxed because we've got the support of the floor. Right? If we were standing up, it would have to be somewhat contracted, but here at the floor, we can relax pretty much. Yeah? So just a couple more. We want to watch that the head doesn't scooch. So if I'm very, very tight today, then my head would scooch or lift up a little bit, and I would feel that movement on the mat. So you want to just move as much as your head doesn't move. Good. Lift everything up and off of that position. When you come down, it'll feel very much like the roll is still underneath your back. And you can stay very quiet. Don't tilt your pelvis, but you can just press down a little bit with your pelvis and then relax and press down. Get a little bit of that surge of a bit of an engagement that runs up your spine. Just gentle, it's just a gentle tap down, and tap down. Good. So you're going to stay laying down. You can put a blanket or a roll underneath your legs. You can take your legs and put them up on a 90-degree bend on a chair, if you have a chair close to you. But you're going to spend some time just laying down, and I'm going to give you a little bit of yoga philosophy that you then can listen to and then think of implementing into your experiences this week. So I'm going to read from one of my very favorite, I call it sort of like a starter book. It's a great layman's term, written really easily by Donna Farhi, and it's called Bringing Yoga to Life. And I'm reading about the kleshas. And the kleshas are Patanjali, who's the gentleman who first started to write down and get a lot of the text of these Yoga Sutras down, the 5 causes of suffering. And the first one is avidya, which is ignorance to our eternal nature. The second one is asmita, which is seeing oneself separate or divided from the rest of the world. The third one is raja, attraction and or attachment to impermanent things. Dveja, which is aversion to the unpleasant, meaning staying away from things uncomfortable and difficult. And the final one, the clinging to life, because we fail to perceive the seamless continuity of consciousness, which cannot be broken by death. And so there's 5 of them, right? So I'll sort of say them in my own words. You know, the first one is that we don't see ourselves as the divine beings that we are, that we have sort of lost that internal and eternal sense of ourselves. The second is that for some reason we have separated ourselves. We feel that we're isolated, that whatever circumstance or struggle is coming up, it's only happening to us. So we separate ourselves from the rest of the world. The other one is attachment to things that are pleasurable or things that are impermanent, be them relationships and or objects. The fourth is staying away from or avoiding the difficult or the fearful. And then the final one is actually clinging to life, not understanding that there's actually this part of us that transcends death itself, that there's a connection and a spirit and a soul and all of those concepts. Okay? So when we're in either 5 of those, we tend to see ourselves in struggle, or struggle comes up, and then if we take time to reflect, we'll see where we are within the realm of the koshas. And then the final piece, as you think about that, is that it goes on to say that there are 5 very beautiful and easy ways that you can help soften yourself towards moving through any given struggle as it arises. No, sorry, 4 of them. And the first of which is friendliness towards the joyful, compassion for those who are suffering, celebrating the good in others, and remaining impartial to the faults and imperfections of others. Okay, so friendliness towards the joyful, compassion for those who are suffering, celebrating the goods in others, and remaining impartial to the faults and imperfections of others. These 4 will help us move out of the sense of struggle or difficulty that we might be having in our lives.
So if you're still with me, sit for a few moments, close your eyes, and just enjoy a few moments of contemplating, reflecting, feeling yourself sitting, feeling your breath, feeling the words that I just shared, and seeing if you can just keep yourself away from the story, but feel the present situation or landscape that you might currently be in, and just see if in the next minute or so of silence that you can actually feel a little bit of strength or wisdom or clarity around what's going on. And then open up your eyes. Have a lovely week. I look forward to seeing you here either this week or next week. And again, the book is called Bringing Yoga to Life. It's by Donna Farhi. You can take a look at my book when you're here next. Enjoy doing the lumbar roll and practicing that a little bit on your own. And I just wish you lots of good movement and breath, and we'll see you soon. All right?